Okay guys, welcome to another Be Built by Broza. We're here live from the Mecca, and we're with my good friend and student, Tony Lagrene. He's in from Arizona, and he's here training some shoulders with me. He loves to come down to the Mecca every now and again and get put through a Merlin workout, so I got something special for him for shoulders today. And Tony just informed me that he is going to step on stage later this year at the Legion Sports Festival in the 212 class, isn't that right?
Yep, that's what we're going to shoot for.
So yeah, actually this is the first time that I could say that I'm officially working with Tony now as his coach as far as his workouts go. Matt Porter is still his diet coach, has been his diet coach for a long time. It's really great working with Matt in conjunction to get Tony into the best shape of his life. So that's what we're doing now, and hopefully you guys enjoy this great shoulder workout with Tony. Okay guys, so here we start on the seated side lateral machine. This is great for what we're doing here right now, which is a Merlin Madness set. You guys have seen us do this before on a few different exercises, but I wanted to bring it back around and introduce it to Tony, because he's a shorter guy, and the wider we can make him on the sides, the better he's going to be on stage to create that illusion. Now the first 5 repetitions, as you saw, he was taking 4 to 5 seconds to do the positive portion of the rep. That's the first part of Merlin Madness. The second part, as he's doing now, he's taking 4 to 5 seconds to lower the weight to the eccentric portion. It's the second part of Merlin Madness. He does 5 reps of the first portion, 5 reps of the second portion, and now he's going to move into the third portion of the set, where he's going to be holding the contraction at the top for 4 to 5 seconds. So he holds it there at the top, contracting the lateral deltoid. He's squeezing against the weight, so he's not only just holding the weight in place, he's actually consciously contracting the muscle, which I call hyper-contracting. So after he gets 5 reps like that, he moves into the final portion of the set, which is basically just moving as quickly as he can, getting as many reps as he can, half reps, quarter reps, anything he can to increase tension on the muscle and take it to total and complete failure. And that is a Merlin Madness set done on side laterals by Tony. Excellent. Okay, so now for the next exercise, we're going to keep our focus on the anterior deltoid. We're actually taking a neutral grip, palms facing inward, on the shoulder press machine here, which actually will focus a greater amount of tension onto the front deltoid rather than also engaging the lateral deltoid when you take a normal grip, because it keeps the elbows in closer to the body rather than bringing them away from the body. So what he's doing here is he's actually focusing on the negative portion of the repetition. He's taking about 4 seconds on the way down. The first set, which we didn't re-record, he actually did 4 seconds on the way up. So again, we're just bringing all those elements of training into each set, hitting the muscles a little bit differently, focusing the tension a little differently, and giving them different reasons to grow. Of course, when you're using slow negatives, you're breaking down muscle fibers quite a bit, which is a signal for them to grow. I'm going to give them a couple of force reps. Okay guys, so the next movement that we're doing today in this side and front deltoid workout is an incline low cable raise with a short straight bar. And what we're doing now is in each individual exercise, we're going to bring in one of the techniques that we used during the Merlin Madness set. On the first exercise here, we're going to bring in the contractions held at the top for 4 seconds on each rep. This is a real killer for the front of the deltoids, helping to create that mass, that cap of mass over the front of the shoulder and the separation in between deltoid and chest, especially for you competitors out there. This angle is really, really excellent for hitting the front shoulder. It's different than just doing it with a straight bar off the ground. Creates a lot of tension at the bottom of the movement and the top of the movement. What he's focusing on doing here is actually getting the squeeze in the top, using the shoulders and not using the traps. I'm going to give him a couple of force reps. Okay, so on the final exercise, we're putting the focus back on the lateral deltoids. We're going to do a single arm dumbbell side lateral. What he's actually doing is grabbing onto the bench with a non-working hand, and he's leaning his body outward, which creates a little bit more tension at the top of the movement. As you can see, he's keeping his palm flat to the floor. He's not turning it back, which would engage the front deltoid. We want to keep it on the side deltoid, and we're going very, very high reps here, as hard as he possibly can, just kind of like a piston, but under control. We're trying to force as much blood as we can into the muscle, and don't make any mistake about it. Research does show that high reps builds muscle just as well, so we include that in the program, especially after doing all the damage to the fibers we did in the previous movements. Okay guys, so we just wrapped up a good shoulder workout with Tony. Definitely used some of my favorite principles, Merlin madness sets, held contractions, slow positives, slow negatives. I kind of threw everything at him. But I do this pretty much all the time, as he can tell you, because I send him his workouts by email. Every day, send his workouts by email, and he just follows them to the T. And what do you think, Tony?
Exhausting. Crazy amount of blood flow. Hardly raise my arms. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, so we're going to get him ready for his pro debut at the Legion Sports Fest. We got him here in town for a couple of days. He's going to come to the California State Championships, check it out. Very big show. And that's it. I mean, we'll just keep pumping him up and trying to bring up the weak points. Matt Porter's taking care of his diet, so he's got that covered. He's got me covered for the training. And so he's got a good team behind him, and I look forward to continuing my work with Tony and having him back on the show again and again.
And thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Jay, Color, Dave, Eric, everybody, thanks.
Boom. It's time.
That time.
There you go. Wow, he looks great on camera. Wow. You look even better on camera than in real. That's awesome.
Thank you.
How do you feel?
I'm feeling good. Yeah? Really confident. You know, got through prejudging, and now just waiting to get it back on stage to do the finals.
So there's a little story with him.
Yeah,
going on.
I'll be the one to explain it. So, very odd. We were looking to have him in the light heavyweight division. That was our goal. That was what we were setting out to do. And the day of the weigh-ins, before he went for the weigh-in, we weighed him on my scale, and he weighed 192 pounds. So he had a cushion. So basically, we had him in the light heavyweight class, and then oddly enough, don't ask me how. I don't really understand.
Neither do I.
But he weighed in on the scale at the show at 205.
Oh, you're getting a lot of muscle quickly.
So apparently, I must have
overnight.
just snapped my fingers, and he gained 13 pounds.
Nice.
So it's not what we had hoped for. We planned for the light heavyweight class. That was what we were looking to hit in terms of knowing that that was the right class for him.
Yeah.
So having him in the heavyweight class was a bit of a disappointment for us. but there was nothing that we could do about it. It was done. So we did the class, and to me he was he looked great. He had great shape, condition. He held his own, but he didn't have the size of the heavyweights. That's why we were looking for the light heavyweights. So it was a little bit of a disappointment, but he did the best that he possibly could.
As you always do.
As you always do, and he looked great, and he got a lot of good feedback from people who said this was your best overall look, which is all you can ever hope for.
Better than USA? Yeah?
Better than USA.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so my opinion, I think USA was his best ever look. That's my opinion as his coach.
In terms of conditioning?
In terms of conditioning, I think that was his sharpest he was at. So to me, that was the best he overall looked. He had more size this time, but was not as sharp in my eyes.
He gets better with every show, though, and just getting started. This is the first one of the year right now.
Right, so basically we're going from here to West Coast Classic in 4 weeks. So I'm going to bring him down in weight a little bit more, get a little bit more sharpness. We're also going to, instead of just doing bodybuilding, we're going to go do bodybuilding and classic, actually, together. And just make sure that hopefully we're going to bring our, as Jay Cutler has told us to do in the past, we're going to bring our own scale with us.
Can you do that?
I don't think you can, but we'll do it anyway because Jay said just to kind of prove. Hopefully he'll weigh in the light heavyweights, because that's the class he's meant for. So we're just going to take this, and like we always do is go from here and try to get better, like I do with all my athletes.
Very cool. Congratulations, Mark.
Thank you, Dave.
Okay, we'll just see. This is just before night final, so. All right, Biggie, that's it. First one is in the books for the year.
Well, for
2019.
For these guys, yeah. So we just finished up at the Cal State Championships. Kim here is holding her 3rd place trophy.
Yay!
Her first shot in bikini. She was figure last year, and we switched over to bikini this year.
Much improved from last year, Kim. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, are you happy with your results? Are you happy? Yeah, that's important. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that now I can see what areas that she needs to improve on. But I mean, I think she has a great bikini body and a great future.
Great posing too. Very confident on stage. Yeah, awesome.
She nailed it.
Yeah.
And we discussed about Mark before ending up in the heavyweight class, which was kind of odd to us. So we don't know how he gained 13 pounds between scales.
Magically 205, 192. I don't know.
But that's fine. And it is what it is. And now we just go back to work for the West Coast Classic. Both of them are going to both do it. And then of course, if you're watching, Tamara Mack is doing it as well. She's doing women's physique.
Awesome.
So as every time, it's back to the drawing board and come in. All we ever try to do is beat our former selves.
Yeah. And
if you beat your former self, then you win, because after that you can't control anything. So
that's right. Cool.
So
all right,
now,
you guys.
I'm gonna let these guys eat something. They deserve.
What are you gonna have to eat?
I want In-N-Out burger.
Yeah. What are you gonna have?
I want pancakes. That's all I want.
I don't. Oh. Right now?
Yeah, right now.
Okay.
Yeah. and since she wants In-N-Out burger and he wants pancakes, I want both of them. So I get both.
It's gonna be a late night. All right. Thanks, you guys.
All right.
All right.